What I'm doing now is I'm wetting the sky area. I've mixed up some yellow, lemon yellow with a touch of red, and some ultramarine with a touch of Cinnerous blue, but you could use cerulean. And I'm wetting this sky area with a large, flat, soft brush here. I'm starting out with a lighter colour first. That's the lemon yellow, and I'm going to paint it just above those winter trees there using a round size 8 brush. And the consistency is sort of milky, and now I'm adding a little bit more of the yellow just above there, leaving some gaps as well. This is wet in wet. So I'm just sort of painting up about halfway up the sky with the yellow, and now I'm dipping my brush into the orangey paint, painting that wet in wet. Keep loading that brush as you're painting, and you'll get a lovely sort of mix of the yellow and the orange to create a lighter colour. And I'm just working my way up to the middle of the sky there as well, adding a touch more red now, sort of making this a stronger sort of red orange colour, and painting this sort of at the top there wet in wet with this size 8 brush still, and just sort of making little marks here and there just to create this interesting sky. I absolutely love this photograph. It was the sky and the reflection in the water that was so beautiful. I'm now using some of the blue here at the top, still with a size 8 brush. You could use a larger brush, and just painting this wet in wet, trying not to touch the yellowy orange colour because you may end up with a brown or muddy colour. So you can tilt those colours and allow them to blend naturally. Works really well. As you can see, that's what I'm doing now. Just tilting to get the paint to run down into that yellowy orange colour, and you get a lot more of a fresh, more vibrant colour. And I'm adding a little bit more blue there, top right, wet in wet. So it's a good time to allow your painting to dry. Once the painting is dry, I'm going to be painting the reflections now of the sun. So I'm wetting this area. I'm going to use pretty much the same colours. I'm wetting the surface there with my size 10 brush. I'm going to start off with the lemon yellow again and paint this wet in wet. And remember, I've got some masking fluid there protecting the white and light of the paper as well. I've added a little bit of red to that colour now, so I've got a light orange colour, and I'm painting this damp into wet. That means my brush isn't as wet as the paper, so the paint doesn't move as much, so you get these sort of orangey ripples sort of staying put. I've diluted some ultramarine here on its own, and painting wet on dry the snowy area to give the snow some colour. It's not completely white, and some of it actually is in shade, and I'll be painting some of those shadow colours on the snow later on in this tutorial. So it's a good time to allow your painting to dry. I'm painting a 2-stage sky, so once that painting is completely dry, I'm wetting it again. I'm going to be painting the next stage wet in wet, and I've mixed up some ultramarine with a little bit of Indian red, but you could use cadmium red or burnt sienna. And I'm very gently wetting this sky here with a soft brush so it doesn't disturb the paint underneath. Remember, watercolour isn't permanent, so you don't want to sort of scrub too much with your brush. I've taken the excess paint off on my paper towel there, using a size 10 brush, painting damp into wet some of the sort of cloud shadows there, and leaving gaps of the blue underneath there, using my paper towel just to control the amount of paint going on here. Remember to leave gaps of the yellow underpainting as well. I'm adding a little bit more orange now as I go towards the horizon and around the sun area there. So there's not as much grey clouds, a lot more warmer colours here. Working damp into damp now because the sky has dried off a little bit now. So make sure your brush is about the same consistency as the surface. Any wetter and you could get backgrounds or cauliflowers in your sky. What I'm doing now is I'm wetting the dry surface here of the reflection in the water with just clean water, and now painting damp into wet some of the reflections from the sky using my size 8 brush, and exactly the same colours that I've used in the sky as well. And I'm actually using a little bit of ultramarine here and a little bit of red, as you can see there, and it's quite a creamy mixture here. And I'm painting this damp into wet, sort of some of the darker sort of shadow colours around the edges of this little pool of water here. And what I've done here here now. I've swapped to my size 6 brush, working damp into damp now. So the surface is damp and so is the brush, using a mixture of ultramarine and a little bit of the Indian red, but you could use burnt sienna. I'm painting reflections now, damp into damp with my size 2 brush with a mixture of ultramarine and Indian red. And it's just actually some of the twigs above ground here. And it's pretty much vertical. There's a slight angle to them. It's a really good time to allow your painting to dry. What I'm doing now is I'm painting the background trees. I've mixed up some burnt sienna and some Phthalocyannine blue. You could use Prussian blue or even phthalo blue, but it's just a cool sort of greenish colour here in the background. I don't want it to come forward, so it's quite a neutral sort of colour. And I'm sort of scrubbing with the belly of my brush as well, just to create a little bit of texture with these trees here. I'm working wet on dry. I'm using my size 6 brush and I'm just adding a little bit more of a darker colour at the bottom here, working wet in wet, using the tip of the brush as well, just to tidy up. Try not to catch the snow, as it were, because you want to try and keep the paper as white as possible there to have that contrast there. And I'm just painting in between the trees as well. They're trying not to get any paint on those birch trees there. I'm working my way along here with my size 6 brush, working wet on dry, painting around these little buildings here as well. I've added a little bit of Indian red to that colour there as well, just to warm that colour up around where the sun rays are coming down, so it's not as cool looking. And I'm adding a bit of burnt sienna again to that Phthalocyannine blue here, using the belly of the brush as well. So really trying to create some texture here, but keeping the colours cooler so they recede, so your painting has depth to it. Warm colours come forward, cooler colours recede. You don't want to give too much information to these trees. Remember, less is more. So once the paint is damp, not too wet, I'm lifting off with my plastic card some of the paint there, so you get some sort of almost like the white trunks coming through the tree trunks there. It's quite effective and it creates a little bit of light as well, so they don't look as dense. It's really effective. I'm actually painting some of the grasses coming through the snow here, using the belly of my size 8 brush, using a mixture of ultramarine and burnt sienna, perhaps a little bit more burnt sienna, so you've got a lovely warm colour. It isn't too dark, I don't want it to come forward too much, but it's just to create some textures here and some details in the snow. And it's quite a sort of a neutral colour as well, not too bright, because I don't want it to take the attention away from the sun and the sky and the reflection of the sunshine in the water there as well. So I'm just mixing up a slightly darker, creamier colour here, just to paint some shadows and details in these sort of damp grasses. As you can see, I'm working my way from the middle ground to the foreground here underneath the trees, still using ultramarine and burnt sienna there. They work so well together. You can vary it. You can use more of a blue with a touch of brown, or brown with a touch of blue, or about 50-50. As you saw there as well, I've been diluting underneath to create some lovely soft shadows as well. Really trying to vary my brush strokes, working with a dry brush effect. But it's getting to that stage where I feel I need to let my painting dry again and work wet on dry. What I'm doing now is I'm painting the distant house here now, the little buildings, using again ultramarine, burnt sienna, so versatile these two colours. And I'm using my size 6 brush. You don't have to be too careful here, because obviously I've masked out the snowy rooftops here with masking fluid, but I'm trying not to touch the snow on the ground, which I haven't masked out here. And I'm just sort of tidying up those edges with my size 6 brush. Mixed up a little bit of burnt sienna and yellow here. You could use raw sienna. It's a very watered down wash. I'm painting wet on dry here. The trees, the silver birch trees, don't worry about the sky even on that left hand side silver birch tree. I'm going to create lots of dark marks later, but as you can see, the masking fluid is resisting the paint here, so all the white of the snow of that tree is being protected, and I'm just sort of glazing this wash onto the other smaller birch trees. So while the tree is damp, so it's not dried off, it's still a sheen on the paper, I'm using my size 6 brush with a mixture again of burnt sienna with ultramarine, quite creamy paint, painting damp into damp here, the markings, those very distinguishable markings of silver birch trees. I've deliberately not painted all the branches. I wanted to keep everything really simple and not overwhelming. So it's again a good time to allow your painting to dry. And once the painting is dry, remove your masking fluid. Now I'm using a paper towel, which is really effective to do this. It's also really effective to use masking tape or even an eraser, putty rubber, or even your thumb. So look at that now, all the white snow, it looks gorgeous. What I'm doing now is I'm just painting some very, very dilute wash of ultramarine with a tiny touch of burnt sienna, so it doesn't look too blue. And I'm painting this wet on dry for some shadow, soft colours onto the snow area. I'm still using the burnt sienna and ultramarine here just to kind of paint some darks just right at the edge of the snow where it meets the water here, and it really sort of transforms the water. It turns it into water almost, or the illusion of water, just by painting those darks. So I'm working on this main silver birch tree here, just where I removed the masking fluid. It took off a lot of the dark, so I'm just adding a little bit more here with my size 10 brush, again using the ultramarine and burnt sienna. If you don't have those colours, you could use burnt umber and Paynes grey. And I'm just using the tip of this brush now, size 10 brush, working wet on dry, just to paint a few more dark marks. I'm just using my size 10 brush now, just painting a very sort of soft shadow colour ultramarine with a touch of burnt sienna on the right hand side of the tree trunks here, trying to avoid painting over my lovely sort of light snowy edges. Just painting some darks here just at the bottom of the tree for some shadows here with my size 10 brush, again using ultramarine and burnt sienna. I've also added a touch of Indian red here, working damp into damp here just to give a little bit more warmth in the foreground, to create depth, to make this 2D surface somehow become a 3D surface. I'm just working on some of the reflections here in the bottom right hand corner as well, again using ultramarine and burnt sienna. I've rinsed off my brush there, and I'm using a damp clean brush and just softening some of these hard edges there to push them back and to blend them in to the underpainting there so they don't look so harsh. I'm going to do the same with some of the foliage there, just to the right of the tree, as it's almost dried off a bit, so I'm just sort of working into that paint with my clean damp brush just to sort of smudge it all back so it pushes it back a little bit. Again, I think it's a good time to allow my painting to dry. And what I'm doing now is I'm using the bokeh technique with my stencil. I'm going to lift off the paint using my stencil brush. For those of you who want to know more about the bokeh technique, I'll put a link in the description below of a video I published recently all about this really great cool technique. The stencil's really useful because it gives you a nice circle, but it also gives you a lovely soft edge. I had a hard edge with the masking fluid. I'm using this little brush, it's called an Eradicator by Billy Showell, and I will put a link in the description below of where you can purchase this brush. But what it is, it's a little synthetic brush, and it's really good at lifting off really sort of small intricate areas. You could also use a small synthetic flat brush to achieve this technique. And what I'm doing now is I've got a fresh bowl of clean water here, and I'm lifting off the rays of sunshine. So it takes me a little bit of a while to do this, but I'm just sort of lifting off those trees so it's shining through the trees onto the snow there. Keep rinsing your brush all the time. Try to use clean water so your sun doesn't end up getting muddy, and just take your time and use a paper towel to lift off as well in between lifting off with the brush. You finish lifting off your sun rays, allow your painting to dry. What I'm doing now is I'm glazing some orange over the sun rays, wet on dry, so you've got that lovely glow of orange coming through. I'm using some of that orange colour now, the red and yellow mix, painting wet on dry with my size 8 brush, some of the reflections here, and softening with a damp clean brush as well, adding a little bit of yellow so there's a lovely glow coming from that water there. Again, it's a good time to allow your painting to dry. I'm going to finish off my painting here with a really cool technique. It's using white gouache with a paper towel scrunched up, and I'm printing with the paper towel with the white gouache wet on dry onto the trees, the distant trees there, into the foreground trees as well, and it just gives that illusion of snow that's recently fallen onto the trees and onto the ground, etc. And it just finishes off this painting nicely. I was really tempted to spatter it, but I thought the sun is setting, there isn't snow falling at the moment, so it's quite nice just to give this effect and technique as well to finish off the painting. So I'm removing the washi tape, which is 1.5 centimetres, and it reveals a lovely white border, and it gives me time to assess to see if I need to do any more to my painting, but I think I'll leave it there for now. And if you'd like to learn more about watercolour painting, why not check out my Patreon membership? You will get access to ad-free, longer, more in-depth tutorials with downloadable sketches. More information can be found in the description below, or click the link on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.